Good afternoon, guys and dolls. We welcome you to another exciting episode of Spotlight. Oh, although it's raining,
Yes.
we'll make it more interesting, informative to all of you. And I'm Chingkee Mangcucang, baka nakakalimutan.
And
Ako
I
po si
am
Chingkee.
Kim Sancha. Okay.
So yeah, we're so lucky today. I've
Yes.
been looking forward to this.
Me too.
And I have a lot of friends.
Right.
Mga kachibo who have been looking forward to this day.
Correct.
Where, when we can talk to our special guest today and see or discover many things that we thought aren't possible.
Right.
Okay.
That's why our guest for today is a trailblazer in integrative medicine, blending traditional and holistic approaches to healthcare, sister.
And I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Originally from the Philippines, he earned his medical degree at the University of Santo Tomas, or USTE, and trained in family medicine at the University of North Dakota.
Wow. Alis na nga ako kasi pareho pa ng ustay nandito eh.
Pati EVP namin, Executive Vice President.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be kaya hindi ka nag-pursue. Alam mo yan.
Before you continue, I just would
Please.
like to say, Doc, my eldest sister is also a doctor.
Okay.
And she's also from UST.
Okay.
And she would always say, the best doctor with the best bedside care who can possibly give to patients are those from. Walang, UST.
Okay. Ayan na naman. Meron din akong kapatid na doktor, kailangan hindi UST. Anyway,
Okay.
after overcoming his own health challenges, he shifted to integrative therapies, blending conventional and holistic approaches nga.
Galing. Oh, now, he's the vice president of the Nevada Homeopathic Board.
Oh.
He combines his expertise in homeopathy, energy medicine, and more to offer comprehensive care, Kim.
Right. And
Galing.
speaking of Nevada, he's actually based in Reno. He also serves as a junior faculty member at the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine and leads educational webinars.
I like the anti-aging. But I like the anti-aging, but I don't like to live forever. I just want, you to age gracefully.
Okay.
So mga katribo, eto na, let's all welcome and give a warm welcome, of course, to Dr. Melvin Nario.
Good afternoon, Doc. Welcome to Grace. Welcome to Grace today. Welcome to Spotlight.
Welcome to Spotlight, Doc. Marami kang marami kang patients who are watching, patients who have been looking forward to this day. Yeah, and one of those is Lynn Monsanto, Doc Dea, and Doc Dea Miliora. They've been waiting for this. So, say hello to our katribo, Doc.
Hello, katribo. And thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure being here. Salamat pong lahat.
Okay.
Ayan. So, now, Doc, hindi na natin patagalin. We have limited time. We only have an hour. Maybe less because we have commercials. So, let's start, mga katribo. And, mga katribo, if you have comments or questions, you may message us or comment below FB page ng Daily Tribune. Makikita po ninyo the FB page, Daily Tribune, may comments below. You may write your comment or ask questions to Dr. Nario, and if we have time, we will accommodate all your questions. Okay, Doc, you are a doctor, medical doctor. You graduated from medicine. Whether how many years in medicine, no? 10 years?
10.
And before you decided to go into homeopathy or integrative medicine, what was the practice of our dear Dr. Nario?
Prior.
Yeah, that's a good question, Ms. Jinx. So actually, I started in conventional medicine almost like 7 years ago. So I was in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where I was doing it. primary care, is what we call it. And nung nandun ako, Las Vegas, alam natin nung
Yeah,
Las Vegas, right?
Right.
Ito
Been there
yung-
several times.
Yeah, so party, food, a lot of things to do.
Yes, shows.
Gambling.
And yes, guilty.
Okay.
I didn't know. Please, sorry.
Pero I actually succumbed to that same vice of what they experience over there. So I ate a lot. I was not in the healthiest of my health, and actually I was 180 pounds while in Las Vegas.
Oh.
Buffets eh, di ba?
Yes.
Oh,
Kumain eh.
yes.
Tapos andun yung mga
Oh.
kaibigan mo, mga barkada
Oo.
mo. So that became really a problem for me, health-wise. So that's why ako myself, nung chine-check na yung mga doktor ko is actually my colleagues in the practice. And they actually found that I have hypertension, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes. So I was obese. Kaya nung sinabi nila sa akin na, Melvin, kailangan mo na uminom ng gamot ngayon. That changed everything around. Yun yung time na talagang I said na, wow, naging pasyente na ako ngayon. Hindi na ako yung doktor. And it was a different mindset na, wow, kailangan ko na inumin yung mga gamot na yan.
Dati,
And yeah.
you used to prescribe to your patient. Now you have to drink it yourself.
Right.
And
Doc?
if I may ask, how young were you?
Oh, I was in my
Back then?
30s, yeah.
Okay.
Very
Yeah, very
young.
young.
Yeah, so that's why, sabi ko sa'yo, it's a different thing when you live in that type of place.
Right.
Pero, the thing there is, and I remember na, if I prescribe these medicines, I always tell my patients, come back to see me in 3 to 4 months, kasi gagawin natin ng blood test mo, kasi mayroon akong kailangan tingnan. Why? Because alam ko ang liver mo, baka masira sa gamot na yan, ang kidneys mo, baka masira. Or, ang mga side effects sa mga gamot na yan na binibigay ko sa'yo, baka mangyari sa'yo. Kailangan malaman ko yan. So, yun ang nag-dawn sa akin na, wow, kaya ko pala sinasabi sa mga pasyente.
You have to tell it
Ang dali
yourself,
ibigay
to
eh,
yourself.
Pag wala kang
Oo,
sakit,
oo,
diba?
oo.
Pero ngayon, ako na yun nandun sa kabilang side ng upuan na nag-uusap kami. So, that was the thing now. That's why I tell everybody na yung mga integrative practitioners natin, you really have to appreciate their experience. They probably got sick before they got into this type of medicine. Yung mga hindi yung basta nagbasa lang, tinuro sa eskwelahan, kaya sila naging integrative practitioners.
Was that
Right.
the reason why you also shifted from mainstream medicine to integrative medicine?
That's one of the bigger reasons. So that
Can you
because
tell
it's-
us more about it, Doc? I'm so interested.
Yeah. So yun. So after that health scare, kasi so now this is the one of the bigger reasons. It was one of my mentors actually. My auntie, Tita Corazon Ibarra, and Dr. Corazon Ibarra, who's one of the pioneers here in the Philippines, who brought integrative medicine. So it was almost like 20 years when she brought it here to us. And she is known by our mentors in Prima. So I called her up in Reno, Nevada. So hindi lang kapitbahay ng Las Vegas. So I called her up. I told her, Tita, I'm sick. I need help. Can you treat these conditions that I have naturally without me taking any medicine? She said, yes, I can. So binigit niya sa akin yung mga therapy. Chelation, IV therapies, homeopathy. Sa loob-loob ko, ano ba yun? Like, what can that do for me? I don't know. Di tinuro sa med school sa amin yan eh. So, without any question, this is my aunt, this is my family, I went. And I took a chance. And actually, after that, that was the road that I never looked back into, and I just moved forward. So that's where I found health again. And now I'm 140 pounds without all of these conditions that I just mentioned. And that's why it is all because of integrative medicine.
How long did it take for Dr. Melvin to go back to your normal healthy condition?
All right, that's a good question, because this is not a medicine that we actually give a magic pill for. Hindi siya yung, okay, pag ginawa mo, tapos na. So that's why it all still stands on the basic foundations of lifestyle, diet, exercise, and even stress release or stress control. So, yan ang parati namin sasabihin sa mga, hindi ka namin bibigyan ng mga halaman, hindi ka namin bibigyan ng mga herbal. Ito talaga mga bagay na dapat nyong gamitan at pagtuulan ng oras.
Ng oras.
Plus the other natural therapies that we give you. So that's why hindi kami, later on I'll expand more on that. Pero it took me almost 2 to 3 years to reverse that. Because it takes, isipin nyo hindi ka naman gigising na ganun kagad yung mga problema mo. You have to take years and time to get to those diseases. So that's why, paatras ka rin, it will also be a stepwise process.
But the good thing, Doc, is it is reversible.
It
Right.
is reversible.
Oh,
Yan
may-
dapat
may
natin
pag-asa.
kilalanin.
And I can
Oo.
imagine how hard it was when you did the process. You said it was 2 years, right?
Yes.
And was there a time that you felt na ayoko na?
There was. So, yeah, that's...
How did you motivate yourself to continue
Oh,
this?
kasi
Right.
I can just imagine,
I know,
it's
I
not
know.
easy.
We're just human, right?
Yes.
We always fall into temptation,
Yes.
our wrong behaviors, balik tayo ulit.
Oo.
It's really just motivation. What is my motivation? The motivation is, ako yung doktor na pinupuntahan ng mga pasyente at umaasa sila sa akin. So, sasabihin nila, pupunta ka ba sa doktor na, Dok, ang dami mo sakit eh. Tapos gusto mong gamutin yung diabetes ko, ikaw may diabetes ka. So, how can I present myself to my patients if I myself cannot be a role model for them? So, that was the motivation. Also, my motivation, of course, family, friends. Kailangan ko mabuhay to see my own family in the future, to be with them as well, to enjoy life with my loved ones. So, it really becomes deeper now more than medicine. Hindi ko na sinasabi yung concepts of medicine here. But that's why it's called integrative, because you look at different aspects and levels na, hindi sinasabi ng regular na doktor yan. Because it really needs experience and training to find
For us, normal beings.
Ordinary.
Ordinary, I think it's better. Baka sabi abnormal sila.
Wag naman.
I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm not gonna allow that. Oh, no, sorry.
No,
Please
hindi.
go.
Sige.
Okay, I was joking.
Yan na, wala tuloy yung flow of thought.
Oh, yeah. Sorry naman.
Anyway, okay. Hindi, Doc, for us, what do you think can we possibly do? But before that, ito muna.
Go.
Doc, how long, other than you reversing your condition, how long did it take for you to know all about this integrative medicine? Because I'm sure it is entirely different from your regular or your education that you took in or training that you took earlier on. So, how long did it take for you to master integrative medicine? Because I know people look up to you, they listen to you now. You know, I know it's not easy. Can you share with us how long it took?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Ms. Chingkee. The thing here is, to be honest with you, medicine, regular medicine, the education, the training that we had, hindi nila binabanggit to. In relation, especially nutrition, for example. Very small amount of time was given to nutrition when I was in medical school. But now, as I mentioned to you, almost 7 years ko na siyang ginagawa. It almost took me like 5 years to 7 years of additional education to actually learn what I know now. So this is really something out of the box. Kasi kung doktor ka, sabi mo, natapos ko na lahat. Di ba? Ano na ako, internal medicine na, ENT, Serojano na ako. Ba't pa ako mag-aaral? Kailangan ko ng kumita. Pero ang kailangan intindihin ng mga doktor natin na hindi tayo tumitigil na natututo. So this is the reason why this is a totally new educational experience for me. Dahil inaral ko na naman to from ground zero. Dahil never na nila tinouch to sa medical school, unfortunately.
Yes. Was the transition of your practice also a challenge when you when patients go to you and consult?
Yes. Kasi hindi na to yung pupunta sa yung regular na pasyente na, Dok, gamutin mo naman diabetes ko. Dok, gamutin mo naman tong hypertension ko. Ang mga pasyente ko, Dok, paano natin pipigilan? Magkaroon ako niyan. Dok, paano pa ako bumata? It's like, that's why it's anti-aging medicine. Isa pa yun, sinasabi ko sa pasyente, Ma'am, hindi kita tutulungan para bumata. Tutulungan kita to transition into better aging process. Kasi when you say anti-aging, that's really something na minsan na misconstrued. Yung term, kala nila, papabatain mo ako. Hindi. Pagandahin natin ang transition mo sa pagka-edad.
So we can all age gracefully,
Right.
diba?
And
and become healthier.
Right.
Oh, and anyone can try you under the strong rain like this, no?
Right.
Okay, Doc. So, yung cases that you've handled, can you share with us which is the most challenging with all those 7 years? Kasi I'm sure while you're studying, you're already helping some patients out.
Right.
You're helping them change their lifestyle, change their preferences, the choices of food and all. But what is the most challenging case and the most challenging patient you have had? Can you possibly, you don't need to, just the case, Doc. We don't need to know
of
that.
course. I think I shared a different case with you a while ago. Pero now it came to me. na meron biglang pumasok sa ulo at siya sa puso ko. One of my hardest actually, is my own father.
Oh.
So, my dad, who actually had liver cancer. So, ang daddy ko, alam niya
Doctor
na
din siya.
he is a doctor.
Ah!
Yes,
Pinakamahirap gamutin. Pinakamahirap na pasyente,
Maraming
doctors.
tanong.
Yun
Maraming tanong.
Oo.
So, unfortunately, he's an emergency room doctor, ER doctor.
Oh my God.
So, very conventionally trained. So, nagka-cancer siya sa liver, and sabi niya, actually, hindi niya sinabi sa akin. So, nalaman ko na lang from my relatives na kasi, ang sabi niya, ayoko na magpa-treat. Alam kong mangyari sa liver cancer. Mamamatay ka na lang kung hindi yung sakit. It's either the chemotherapy, right? Kaya sinabi niya sa akin, okay na, I'll just, pwede na ako mag-go. Pwede na ako fly away. Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, Dad,
Parang nag-give up na siya.
Parang I
Agad.
just have to accept it and then I'm fine with it.
Oo, alam
That's
niya
it.
eh. Alam niya.
oh,
Oo.
actually, maganda nga yun, di ba? There are
Yes.
terms with everything. Pero sabi ko, Dad, pumunta dito sa Amerika.
Ilan taon siya nun, Doc?
He was 70, almost 75.
Bata pa.
Bata pa
Sa ngayon, bata pa yun.
Yes.
Okay.
Oo, bata
So,
pa
what
yun.
happened, Doc?
I agree.
So, yun, sinabi ko nga sa kanya na magpa-treat ka, ayaw. Sinabi ko sa kanya, meron kaming ginagawa dito sa Reno na tinatawag namin low-dose chemotherapy. So, sabi niya, ano yan? Biglang napaiba yung ano niya. Sabi ko, chemotherapy kinakatakutan mo, di ba? Sige, bibigyan ka namin ng mababang dose ng chemotherapy dito para hindi mo maramdaman ang side effects. At magiging effective pa siya pagpatay ng cancer.
What year was that, Doc? May I know?
That was almost like 3-4 years ago.
Oh my
So
goodness,
it's
nun
just
pala may
recent.
low dose.
Yeah,
ano
meron
na.
na. So, that's
Okay.
something that we have been doing. So, dun ko siya napaikot. Nung narinig niya yung,
Low dose.
hindi ako magsa-side effects. Alright, sige, let's try it out. So, that was one of my biggest roadblocks. And of course, in the process, hindi lang naman yun ang ginawa ko sa daddy ko.
Right.
Siyempre, inayos namin ang pagkain niya. Inayos namin ang ibang mga, of course, part of the treatment of cancer patients is also mental, emotional, and spiritual. We went through all of his traumas together. So, nirelive namin lahat yun during his therapy. So, during the course of the treatment, he was actually, pinognosed na siya ng doctors na you will be gone by 3 months.
Oh,
So,
may prognosis ng
meron
gano'n
siya,
na not
yes.
so good, no? 3 months tops.
That's right. But the therapy brought us and made us spend time with him more for 8 months. So, kalat na din talaga siya.
Na-extend. In a way, na-extend.
Oo.
Of course, pero
And that's still time, precious time.
that's right. And you have to remember, I see cancer patients almost
Yes.
every day. Every day, every minute, every second is almost something that they will pay for.
Yes,
Buy for.
because it's time.
Oo.
That's right, to be with loved ones.
It's
and family.
time.
Okay.
So, that was actually the hardest case. Dahil natay ko siya.
Oo,
Yes.
oo, ang hirap ng
Yeah,
gamutin.
it's both
Other than,
personal and professional.
Oo,
So, you have to deal with that in your case.
yeah, and some doctors whose family member or members are sick, they referred them to another
To another-
doctor,
yes,
and they just,
yun
you
yung
know,
mga stories.
they just confer with them, discuss it with them. They don't wanna handle their own family member.
At buti
Oo,
na sabi
their
mo
own
kasi I
loved
had a
ones.
doctor.
Oo.
Yung mom niya nagkasakit.
Yeah.
Hindi siya makapasok sa room. So, ganyan, ganyan nangyayari. Ay,
Good that
i-treat
you're
yung
able to
mga
handle
doctors.
your dad.
Ang
Oh.
hirap.
For 8 months. At least for
Talagang,
8 months.
para kang ulit nasa bahay. Ano,
How was his-
nagsilahan kayo?
How was his quality of life while he was undergoing such the therapy?
So, the quality of life of these patients who undergoes low-dose chemotherapy are better. Why do I say that? Dahil kadalasan pag nagkikimo, nakita mo sa TV,
Yes.
so, di ba ganun ang ano nila?
Tanggal-tanggal lang
Oo.
hair.
Kalbo,
Oo.
And
kalbo.
yung mga patient talaga ayaw na nila yan eh. Kasi because of the
Yeah.
side effect nga.
That's right. So, hindi niya nadanas yan during his time. So, if he did, siguro sa mga latter part na lang. Kasi
Oo.
talagang
Wala
we
na.
needed to give him more
Yeah.
doses of chemotherapy.
But the time when you started, medyo nag-metastasize na yung kanyang
Yeah,
ano.
late na rin eh. Kasi nga sabi niya, alam din niyang...
Ang tigas talaga ng ulo, no?
Kasi-
Oo. Pinatagal.
Pinatagal
Talaga
niya.
naman.
Mm.
oo.
It's unfortunate. But again, time well spent with my father and his family and the loved ones.
Well-
That's the best part of everything.
Talagang there is a reason for
Yes.
everything. Dinala ka niya dyan because there are people who may need your help.
I hope
Lalo
so.
na
Yes,
ngayon, Doc.
definitely.
Oo. So, when you are, other than your dad, I'm sure there are patients who are a bit they have violent reaction when you talk about integrative medicine, especially when they're used to the mainstream, the
traditional, tama ba? Traditional
the
yung term.
conventional medicine. What's the challenge? How do you handle these patients whom you know can be treated using the integrative method? Then how do you convince them?
Right, so,
Kasi they already went to you, but there is still things
hesitation.
that somehow make them hesitate to undergo such type of, kasi mahirap, Doc, I read kung anong integrative entirely different from nakagisnan mo na lifestyle.
Nakamulatan mo
pati food ang hirap ng Doc. So how did you convince them to?
Well, actually, Ms. Jinx, that's a good question. Not only for patients, but also my colleagues. Colleagues in the field of medicine.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to talk about that later.
Jump ko na rin yan if you wanna look at it. Kasi because these patients na pumupunta sa amin, of course, and the doctors think na, yun yung magbibigay ng mga herbal sa'yo. Yun yung mga dadasalan ka para gumaling ka. Diba?
Yung misconception.
The misconceptions of integrative medicine. Dati ganyan, pero ngayon it has evolved. Pero I want to explain to everyone why we're called integrative doctors is because we practice real medicine plus additional medicine, which is actually helping patients. These are Eastern medicine techniques, for example, like acupuncture, homeopathy. That's why hindi lang kami doktor na herbal lang bibigay ko sa'yo, gagaling ka na. Gumagamit din kami ng mga gamot na, kunyari, kailangan mo na ng antibiotics. If you have a severe infection, hindi namin hahayaan ka na
walang antibiotic.
So, ito, mag-herbal ka. Tapos yun pala, infection ang kumalat at namatay na yung pasyente. So, kami ang mga doktor na alam namin kung kailan haluin ang mga bagay-bagay at gawin ang mga tamang interventions at the same time.
Alam mo, Doc,
Gusto ko sinabi niya haluin.
Teka muna, Doc. Teka muna, direct. Direct, sandali lang. Bago tayo mag-commercial, may sasabihin lang ako kay Doc.
Please, baka makalimutan.
We are so glad that meron na ngayong integrative medicine na practice of doctors. Kasi, sadly, sa ngayon, talagang ang practice has been a business. Paramihan ng pasyente, sige, anong sakit mo? Sakit ng ulo, sige, bigyan kita ng sakit ng ulo. Pumunta ka, bumalik ka na lang, lab test ka, then you come back. Next, may sugat po ako sa, sige, tingnan natin, wala pa ng infection, sige, ito ang reseta, they don't dig to the root cause of the disease or the illness or the complaint of the patient. Masakit ang ulo mo, Band-Aid solution ang ibibigay sa iyo. Well, yun ang experience ko. So, sinasabi ko lang yan. Pati sa mga anak ko na dinadala ko sa doktor. And I'm so glad na meron tayo ngayong mga doctors na nagpa-practice ng integrative medicine. And we'll be right back after a short break.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, # Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart. Live more today. Union Bank. It starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
We're back! Sabihin mo, nagmaldita na naman si Chingkee. But, it's a fact of life that I experienced. And my daughter, and even my sons growing up have experienced.
And
before
tayo mag-commercial, yan yung sinasabi mo, di ba? At gusto ko tanong yan ngayon kay Doc. So, how important is patient history in, treating or in healing the patient?
Patient. Okay, that's a good question, Sir Kim. Ang patient history is very important. Dahil nakikita, unfortunately, hindi naman lahat ng doktor ganun ang ginagawa, no? We need to go fast with our consults. Bakit? Every person who goes to our door is income. Kasi you have to remember, medicine right now is also a business. Hindi na siya yung dati, the old school way of delivering medicine na, heal the patient, take your time, right? And then later on, you move on to the next one. It's now a revolving door of like, kailangan patakbuhin ang negosyo. Unfortunately, ito ang dahilan kung bakit natin nami-miss ang important parts of that history of the patient. Minsan tatanungin lang natin, ang problema mo? Dalawa lang o isa lang tapos appointment ka ulit next time.
Yes.
Yung pasyente, ang dami pang gustong sabihin sa'yo. And as I mentioned to you, integrative approaches are not only inclusive of the physical illness. Tatanungin mo yan, what's your mental? What's your emotional? What's your social? Anong problema mo? Yung depression pala ng tao, dahil nag-divorce, namatayan pala. So, binigyan mo ng gamot ng antidepressant na napakaraming side effects. Yun pala, kailangan mo lang i-address yung kalungkutan ng pasyente. So, nami-miss natin yung mga very important parts of that history dahil nagmamadali tayo as doctors. Hindi ko masisi ang doctors natin right now. Really, it's a very economical, challenging time, especially nung dumating din ang COVID. And everybody has to feed their families. But again, we have an oath that we took that we really have to really treat that patient, not only physically, but on all levels of health.
So, well, I understand that, they have to earn. It's, pag sinabi nila that you have a brother or a sister who is a doctor, they think that you are rich because they know how expensive it is to send someone to a medical school. Alam naman natin yon. Kaya nga, pero sabi ng lolo ko sa kapatid ko, nung bago siya magmedisina, medicine is a great profession, but remember, it is a vocation. So, kaya lang, nagbabago ang panahon. Pero gusto kong ibalik, Doc, being the Vice President of Nevada Homeopathic Board, ano yung responsibilities mo? And how did it help somehow sa practice mo and your relations with your friends who are not practicing homeopathy?
Right. So us in Nevada, which is basically Reno, I'm the vice president of the Nevada Homeopathic Board, which actually polices the integrative, complementary, alternative medical practices in the whole state of Nevada. So in-appoint kami ng governor to do this para i-regulate ang mga practice. Kasi there are actually what called charlatans. Yung mga not trained in this field who does not know what they're doing, unfortunately. At nakakasakit sila sa pasyente rather than helping them out.
Doc, before you continue, is there a board exam or another, that I would like to know before you can practice?
Yeah, so before we became, lahat ng doctors under this board actually needed to take a special board exam. So it's like a specialty board for us to be qualified to be called these homeopathic medical doctors in Nevada. So ngayon, that's what we do. Lahat ng may mga nag-attempt na mag-practice ng ganitong
They should go
medicine,
through that process.
That's right. In order for us to make sure that the standards of care are delivered properly to our patients.
How do you police those who are just practicing without taking the board exams?
Right. So meron kami mga guidelines for them to follow. It's like a checklist. You have to have these specific requirements na para maging credible ka enough to deliver medicine. And also, ang pinakamaganda niyan, we have the public's help. So, syempre, ang mga pasyente pumupunta dito sa mga so-called practitioners na to who suddenly had side effects, bad effects of their therapies, will now come to us and tell us na, uy, I think they're doing something wrong over there dahil nangyari sa akin to. It's unfortunate na merong mga masasaktan, pero dyan namin malalaman. Pero meron din kami, as part of our own patrolling, syempre chine-check namin ang mga credentials na yan. So it's a give and take of the public service and also us being the homeopathic board members.
You are visiting the country and you were one of the speakers of Prima.
Yes.
Is there the same policing body for homeopathy in the Philippines? Is there
Organization.
an organization that do
Right
that in the
now, yes.
country?
I think that's what currently is Prima is what's it's trying to do.
Okay.
To actually help and protect the safety of the public in relation to the ongoing demands of integrative medicine here in the Philippines. So nung pumunta ako dito, I am so happy that this is how integrative medicine is actually going. We are growing, we are growing fast. And that's why I'm very happy that I teamed up with Prima in relation to this. And these are very good doctors that we have here who are actually trailblazing the pathway for future integrative practices to grow and flourish. So that's why I'm here to help them also at the same time on what we're doing in Nevada, in the States.
I listened to your talk. It's very interesting,
thank you.
and I can say that you gained a lot of fans in the country.
Supporters.
Yeah, Doc, you talk about integrative medicine and these practices. How did you integrate nutrition, other modalities to treat your patient? I would like to ask if patients like born with their illnesses, those who
Disease.
are with cerebral palsy. I have a daughter with cerebral palsy, Doc. So how can the nutrition, kasi that cannot be, it's not progressive, but you cannot cure it anymore. But how can the treatment of integrative medicine can help a patient with cerebral palsy?
Cerebral palsy is actually more of, di ba, may motor
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
motor
yun,
problem.
yun
The
talaga, Doc.
mind is okay. So cerebral palsy could really be more related to increasing and strengthening the functioning of the patient. So I'm assuming yung family member is still functioning
Yes.
properly,
Oh,
right?
very.
So I think it's
It's just the motor.
the motor functioning. Yes, so
functioning.
we have a lot of things that we can give to these patients. For example, when you say food and nutrition, yes, there's a lot. Especially the ones that can build more muscle, like so proteins, right? Pero meron yan mga specific, hindi lahat ng pasyente is actually will work well with a specific food choice. So lalo na kunyari, cerebral palsy is just one condition of the brain na wina-watch out natin. Pero may mga severe ones like autism, ADD, di ba? Maraming mga ganyan. So that's kind of like a severe
And they
one.
said, Doc, that no matter what your case is, the choice of food or the food that you take affect your behavior.
That's right.
How true is that?
That is very true. So, example para sa'yo is would be after mo kumain, di ba pag busog na busog ka, antok ka na.
Yes.
Right?
Agree.
Groggy ka. So, that's a very, very perfect example for everyone to see that, oh, yun kinain ko eh. Yun nag-cause known effect na yun. So, that's why kami, in relation to food, we go into extremes. Let's go back to yung mga autism and also yung mga ADD patients. Meron kami minsan ginagawang food allergy testing na tinatawag. So itong food allergy testing is a blood test that we send to the lab and it will return to us para sabihin na ito ang mga food na dapat iwasan ng patients.
Yeah.
Pero you have to remember, hindi ito yung allergic responses. Hindi ito yung pag kinain mo magkakapantal ka, meron kang huminga. Meron tayong tinatawag na delayed response in relation to food allergies. Ito yung mga magi-inflame ng mga organs natin, even the brain magi-inflame yan. Kaya minsan ng mga food allergy response actually, parang pagod ako. Parang sakit ng ulo ko. Diba? Hindi ito yung typical, hindi naman yung pasyente, hindi food allergy yan. Pero you have to remember, food allergies can manifest in so many different ways. So that's why itong test na to will tell the patient, ito sundin mo. And then, very
Yes, Doc.
effective in
Okay.
our intervention.
Ang dami kong tanong kay Doc. Nasa isip ko, tumatakbo eh. Hinahabol ko, hindi ko mahabol. Okay, Doc. I know we have limited time, but I'm sure you know that the rate of cancer patients have increased considerably, especially after the pandemic.
Yes.
What do you think is the main cause of this, and how do you treat patients who can the patients have cancer can still go to you and say, Doc, of course your dad, it happened to your dad, but other cases, can they come to you and say, Doc, I am on chemotherapy, is there a way I can help my body be strong enough to fight the adverse effect of chemotherapy?
Yes. So that's a good question, Shinx. And that's actually one of the major types of patients that we actually treat and help. Ito yung mga pasyenteng sunod-sunod na nabubugbog. Maybe that's I don't know if that's a good term, ng chemotherapy na sunod-sunod.
Okay.
Kung makikita mo, ang immune system nila,
Bumabagsak.
pababa na lang ng pababa,
Bumabagsak.
pabagsak. Kaya yun dyan nagsimula ang term na, ay, pinatayan ng chemo. Hindi yung cancer ang pumatay dyan. Right? So, ito yung mga pasyente tinutulungan namin. Kasi kung makikita mo ang trajectory niyan, pababa na pababa, dahil sa puro chemo. Pero kami, in between, bibigyan namin yan ng pampataas ulit ng immune system nila para hindi bumaba ng todo-todo. Pag bumaba ulit, patataasin natin. Para makikita mo na na-maintain nila ang health nila in relation to getting that next chemotherapy that's coming up.
In preparation.
That's right.
So, Doc, are these supplements or what intervention that you give to patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, are these basically food or there are other natural medicine that you give?
So that's another good question. Kasi it's a multi-modality. Madaming types na pwede kang
Ang
ibigay
hirap
sa
naman ng
pasyente.
pinag-aralan yun, Doc.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oo.
pero
Imagine ko
ang
din.
key, tatandaan, it's always about the immune system. Hindi, ang sinasabi namin, yung mga binibigay namin mga natural therapies, hindi yun ang gagaling sa'yo. Pag na-build namin ang immune system mo, yung cancer na yan silang maglalaban. Pag malakas ang immune system mo, protektado ka sa cancer, hindi lang sa cancer, pati sa mga infeksyon, and you will have a healthier life. So, ang mga binibigay namin dyan, mga IV nutrients, mga vitamins, kasi minsan sa chemotherapy, nasisira na yung mga absorption
Yes.
capacity ng mga intestines nila dahil nga, yun nga, suka sila ng
Sobra.
suka, hindi ba? And then also sa pagkain, kailangan assess mo ang pasyente kung sobrang nangangayayat na, kailangan paganahin niya. Pag namamangayayat ng pasyente ng sobra-sobra, yan malalaman natin na medyo pabagsak na yan. So, isang naming objective yun, na hindi pwedeng maging butot balat ang pasyente. Kasi magte-take over na ang cancer.
Gusto ko yun, yung butot balat. Kasi yun naman talaga yung nagiging side effect ng chemo. At ikaw, kasi pag nakita mo yung patient, yun ang sige dito. Because of the way na.
So we have a lot of, I have several more questions, Doc. Please bear with us. It's getting more and more interesting. But we will be right back. Maghanap buhay muna kami. We'll be right back, mga katribo.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, Hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Welcome back, mga katribo. I'm sure you are so as excited as we are as we talk more about the new type of treatment that we can really avail of. You know, so if you are sick, don't
Avail and
feel
options.
you have other options. And I think this is the best option you can get at this time.
Options are safe.
Oo. And Doc, we talk about food and how it affects our system, especially those who have special cases. I know that these food, I just cannot really identify what these food are, but is there a special program that you recommend to our elderly patients, especially our loved ones who have already showed signs of dementia or early signs of Alzheimer's?
So, ang Alzheimer's actually is a very hard disease to treat.
Yes.
Diba? Ang gusto kong paintindi sa ating viewers here is hindi
Let's-
lang siya isang modality. Minsan iisipin natin na, ay, kailangan ko inumin itong ginkgo biloba kung ako dyan, di ba, pang
Yes,
brain.
ng brain.
Marami siyang factors. So that's why ang sinasabi sa lahat ng aspeto ng buhay mo dapat maayos. A good example for you would be, nabanggit mo yung pagkain, ano? Ang dapat kinakain ng mga taong nakakalimot is, kaya may tinatawag tayong mga keto diets, mga mataas sa taba, di ba? Pero ang sinasabi ko sa pasyente, huwag kang kumain ng mga bacon o kaya mga lechon. Hindi yan ang pinag-uusapan natin. Ang pinag-uusapan natin mga siguro mas maganda plant-based types of fats.
Diet. Ganyan.
Kasi nagiging ketone sila, basically mas malakas na enerhiya para sa brain para mag-function. So, ito yung mga plant-based like avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil. Kasi naman, pag kumain ka ng mga lechon at saka mga taba, ngayon,
Good luck.
at yung mga pagbabara naman ng, di ba, heart attack, stroke, anak ko, may tinatamaan.
Guilty as charged.
Hindi ako guilty dyan, alam mo.
Ang hilig ko sa taba. Bata pa ako, ang hilig ko na sa taba.
So, isang aspect yun. Tapos, isa pa, hormones. Kaya,
yes.
madami tayo sa mga prima na magagaling dyan na pag-balance ng estrogen, progesterone, sa lalaki, testosterone. So, tapos, meron din tayong mga heavy metal sa katawan. Nalalanghap nating mga tambucho, maraming mga sagas, sa gasolina. Pagkain ng aluminum, binabalot ang pagkain sa aluminum foil.
Yes, alam ko rin yan.
Deodorant na may aluminum. So, na pumapasok yan sa katawan at gusto nila pumunta sa utak. So, ngayon, masisira na naman ang functioning ng utak mo, which all contributes to that. And diabetes. Yan, ang tawag nila sa Alzheimer's is almost diabetes 3. Dahil tayo hanggang diabetes 2 lang talaga eh.
Yes.
Pero ito ang problema, yun ang nagiging komplikasyon ng diabetes as well. Humihina ang function ng utak. So that's why, ang point ng integrative medicine is ayusin ang bawat sirang parte ng sasakyan para hindi masira yung ibang parts ng car. Diba? Maintain your car para magamit mo siya in the long run. At hindi mo lang patsi-patsing aayusin yan. Dapat ayusin mo lahat yan habang maliit pang sila.
Okay, Doc, ako believer ako that this integrative medicine should be known by everyone. And I understand you're giving webinars.
Yes.
How do you give webinars? Who are your audience? What do you intend to relay or tell your audience when you do the webinars? And how, so far, did it somehow help the profession or the practice?
Right. So in our case in the States, so us in the medical community of integrative medicine there, meron kaming samahan. So this is in accordance to one of my mentors also, Dr. Clearfield. And this is a labor of love for our practitioners. Hindi kami nagpo-focus sa patients for now. Why? Because the key ones to address here are the practitioners and the other doctors. We need to educate them. Dahil kailangan matutunan nila to. So these webinars are focused on professionals. But eventually, mag-expand na rin kami na isama ang mga pasyente. Pero right now, talagang these are world-renowned experts that we have in these free, you have to remember, free webinars. And we definitely can help you out pag gusto nyo.
These are the doctors, for the doctors,
These are
for
the
them
doctors.
to integrate homeopathy to their practice. But again, they have to go through the process, the labored process of
Right.
getting
Hindi lang
into
homeopathy,
the
lahat na sinasabi,
Yeah.
stem cells,
All- yeah.
hormone therapy. So tinuturuan namin ng mga doctors. And that's why I put Prima on board in these webinars para mga doctors na will have free education in order for them to have also world-class education from the States. Para
How often do you do this?
Every week. We have this ongoing every Wednesday at 8 o'clock a.m. here in the Philippines. States, 5 o'clock a.m. on Tuesdays.
In Nevada,
In
Nevada
Nevada,
time.
yes.
Oh, okay. So, well, Doc, we have so many things to ask.
Kaya
Oh, ang
lang.
dami kong cases na ano gusto kong itanong. I hope that somehow, I was able to touch some of the cases that we have been, or some of the information we were able to ask some of the information that most of our katribo would like to ask. But Doc, do you have any special message to our audience? We call them katribo. Do you have any panawagan to patients who are losing hope? Please?
Sa mga katribo, the thing that I really want to impart with you is, andito kami, mga integrative doctors to help you out. If hindi ko naman sinasabi na if you're getting frustrated sa current medical system, there is always going to be an option. Nandito kami to assess not only physical illnesses but also mental, spiritual, and also psychological aspects of your health. And as I always tell patients na always play prevention. Huwag kayong magkakasakit. Make sure na gawin niyo mga tamang bagay para mapigilan ang illness and disease. Eat right, sleep well, pray, and if you have any religious affiliations, and also stress, and even your diet and exercise. Huwag niyong kakalimutan yan. And these are the basic things that actually will make you not go to your doctor.
Doc, one last question bago kita pakawalan. With all these new information, technology, and the type of care that we give through prevention and integrative medicine, how do you think this particular emerging practice can shape the type of patient care in the future?
Well, this is actually the new frontier of medicine, as I tell you. Kasi sa States, this is where everybody's going right now. Kaya ngayon, as these doctors that we have here in the Philippines, they will be the guiding light for new patient care. Kung iisipin mo, kung mapigilan nila ang sakit bago makapunta sa serohano, bago makapunta sa espesyalista, ang pasyente makakamura sa paggastos nila. Ma-enjoy nila ang buhay nila kasama ang mga pamilya nila. At ang sarili nila, mapapahaba nila ang buhay nila na napakasaya at napaka-worth doing. So, it's going to be the future of medicine. Alam natin tong concept na to, luma na to. Nakakalimutan lang natin. Prevention is the key. Pero ngayon, you have actual doctors and professionals that will make you remember it in a different way, in a newer way.
Ako, kakatuwa. We have hope. We have hope, and nakakatuwa din to know that this option can really save our lives. Not only tayong mga nasa ngayon na ganitong edad, but also our beloved elderly, our parents. Meron tayong pag-asa na mahaba pa ang kanilang buhay at makakasama natin ng mas matagal, and our children to realize that prevention is the key to healthier, longer lives. At andito sila. Isa pang tanong, Doc. Isa na lang. Ang common na misconception when you talk about preventive integrative medicine is, oh, it's so expensive naman. Oh, anong sasabihin natin sa patients ngayon or those who are listening right now na, oh, mahal yan, sigurado, kasi makikinig sa iyo eh. What shall we say to them to make them realize that no, overall, you get the best treatment or service?
Right. So, yeah, that's correct. Ang kala nila, when you see an integrative practitioner, naku, mahal yan. Laki ng babayaran dyan. But, you are in a country that has a lot of resources. So, this is coming from a doctor who is practicing in a very different environment. You are surrounded by nature here. Ang dami yung mga plants, ang dami yung mga hayop, ang dami yung dagat na nakapaligid sa inyo. You actually have the healing resources around you. That's why kung pupunta ka sa integrative doctor, sasabihin niya sa'yo, anong nakatanim sa bakuran mo? Anong pwede mong itanim? Anong mga binibili mong gulay sa palengke? That's why it all starts with the basics, especially with your food. So, sa amin kasi medyo komplikado mga usapan na yan. Hindi namin makuha ang mga resources na meron kayo dito. And I'm very thankful that you guys have it here. So that's why itong mga doktor na tutulong sa inyo para sabihin, sa paligid nyo lang ang gamot. Diba? Simpleng pagkain, lalo na sa mga probinsya, malinis na hangin, magandang pagkain, diba? Mga turmeric, ginger, lahat yan nandoon for free sometimes.
Right.
So it's not expensive. It's always going to be practical pag makinig lang kayo sa doktor nyo, and you always be preventative.
Right.
Wow, that's a very interesting and informative afternoon with Dr. Nario, Melvin Nario. Doc, maraming salamat for gracing our show. We truly, sincerely appreciate that. You know, you spend some time. I know you're busy. A lot of patients are running after you. I knew some people who have been trying to locate you just to see you, because we all know that you won't be here for long. You will be going back to your your country now, which is Nevada. Thank you so much. We wish you more blessings, and we pray that you will be able to touch more and more lives more people will be saved. And
Not
more,
just touch,
you know,
heal.
and of course be
Heal.
prevented of major diseases. Maraming pong salamat,
Thank you, Vivian. Thank
Doc. At sana we'll be given the chance to have you again in one of our shows when you come back.
Of course.
Oh,
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, and mga katribos, thank you so much. But before we leave, we would like to call on our Manong Joe for a
Hi.
special, para kay Manong Joe na special niya na,
Manong Joe.
na tips para sa ating mga
Super.
katribo. Manong Joe, pasok!
This public service announcement is brought to you by Meralco.
Isang magandang araw mga kaliwanag at ganun na din sa mga katribo. Nakakalungkot nga ang nangyari sa marami nating kababayan dahil sa pananalasa ng Super Typhoon Karina. Daming pamilya, lalo na sa aming mga customers sa Meralco, ang naapektuhan at nalubog sa baha. Kaya kami sa Meralco naging puspusan ang pagtugon namin sa mga pangangailangan ng aming mga customer nitong mga panahon na ito. Hindi po tumigil ang ating mga crew kahit malakas ang ulan o mataas ang baha sa pagbibigay serbisyo. Mula sa pansamantalang pag-alis ng supply ng kuryente para maiwasan ang aksidente, hanggang sa muling pagbabalik ng supply sa oras na ligtas na ang sitwasyon. Napakahalaga po ng public safety para sa amin dito sa Meralco. Kaya bago po namin ibalik yung aming serbisyo sa mga lugar na lumubog sa baha, o gayon din sa mga nasirang electric facilities, sinisiguro namin na ligtas muna ito para sa lahat ng customers ng Meralco. Ini-inspect po muna ng aming mga tauhan ang mga lugar na nawala ng serbisyo ng kuryente para malaman kung ano ang naging sira o problema sa aming pasilidad. Kapag nalaman na namin ang naging problema, uumpisahan ng kumpunihin ang mga pangunahing linya ng kuryente. Sa oras na ito, darating ang aming mga equipment at mga kagamitan na gagamitin sa pagsasaayos. Una po naming inaayos ang aming mga linya ng kuryente na nasa main sections. Kapag okay na ang main power lines, ay susunod natin agad ayusin ang mga linya sa mga kali at mga kabahayan. Ito po yung dahilan kung bakit maraming mga bahay ang hindi agad na ibabalik ang serbisyo ng kuryente noong kasagsagan ng bagyo. Dahil maaaring wala ng baha sa kanilang kalye pero sa kalapit na mga lugar, lalo na yung sa major sections, ay hindi pa ligtas na ibalik ang supply. Ngayon, fully restored na halos ang serbisyo ng kuryente sa lahat ng apektado at salamat sa magigitin nating mga line crew na 24/7 walang tigil na magtrabaho sa kabila ng bagyo at baha. Walang tigil sa restoration efforts doon sa mga lugar na apektado. Saludo kami sa inyong lahat. Bukod din sa pagre-restore at pagsasaayos ng linya ng kuryente, tumulong din po kami ang aming employee volunteers sa Meralco Rescue sa disaster response, partikular sa mga pagsaklolo sa mga na-stranded dahil sa baha. Agaran din nagbahagi ng libu-libong relief packs ang One Meralco Foundation para sa mga pamilyang pinakaapektado ng bagyo sa iba't ibang bahagi ng aming franchise area. Nakabantay pa rin po kami anumang oras upang agad rumesponde sakali man magkaroon muli ng service interruptions o anumang emergency situations. Layo namin na ayusin ang aming pasilidad na naapektuhan ng bagyo sa lalong madaling panahon. Maaring mag-message ang aming mga customers sa aming mga social media channels kung sakaling may iba pang concerns. Ako po muli ang inyong lingkod, Manong Joe, hanggang sa susunod na episode natin.
Galing naman ni Manong Joe. Maraming salamat. Bagay na bagay ngayong tag-ulan yung
Yes,
kanyang
sakto siya.
message.
At
Marami pong salamat.
mabuhay ka, Manong
Oo.
Joe.
So mga katribo, thank you so much for being with us for the entire 1 hour. Kulang pa, no? But you have it now. But of course, we would like to again thank our guest for an enlightening afternoon. Dr. Melvin Nario, maraming pong salamat.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for gracing our show, for sharing your insight, of course, and expertise with us today, and your innovative approach to medicine and dedication to both health, at syempre ang gusto ko, beauty are truly inspiring.
Gusto kayong pag-uusapan, marami dapat yun. Yung sa
Kaya
beauty, paano yung food,
Oo.
paano, ano,
Yun ay kung gusto mo lamang masibak tayong dalawa dito.
Meron pa naman ko nga eh. But don't worry, malay mo, one of these days, kahit nasa Nevada si Doc, we can call him and
Zoom, pwede,
make him
ano.
our guest, di ba? So maraming salamat mga katribo. Again, sa susunod na Tuesday, we will have another informative and masayang show. This is Chingkee Mangcucang, and this has been your
Spotlight.